Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
This is a catastrophe.
You are now listening to The Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
That's what I wished for when I blew out my candle.
Locking down the middle of the day. Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
The floor is yours.
Hour 2. Wednesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Half that work week in the rear view mirror. Working towards the weekend, and on this weekend, LSU will play a lot of baseball. They will play against Milwaukee coming up Friday at 2 o'clock. They'll play Milwaukee on Saturday and Sunday, and then they'll play Monday as well, and then Wednesday before they hit the road to Jacksonville. So 5 games in 6 days to open the season. A lot of baseball content coming your way from us right here at 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, certainly over at LouisianaSports.net. Reminder to check out Musso at the Box on YouTube or wherever you find your podcasts as well. I know this town is very, very, very excited for some LSU baseball. It's the way these things go when basketball goes south as quickly as it does. It's a welcome respite from that. And I know that when you're defending a national championship, everybody is all fired up. So we are, I guess, 48 hours from right now. First pitch over at Alec Box Stadium. Still don't know who's going to throw that first pitch for LSU this year. We'll hear from Jay Johnson at 11 o'clock tomorrow. And my guess is that he will name a starter for Friday. Maybe for Saturday. I'd be stunned if he announced a Sunday starter. I wouldn't even be surprised if he did announce a Saturday starter. I'm looking at Twitter for the last couple of days, and I'm seeing all these schools announcing Friday, Saturday, Sunday starters. Friday, Saturday, Sunday starters. Like Arkansas is going to Texas to play in one of those tournaments, and they announced all 3 of their starters. Ole Miss has announced all 3 of their starters for the weekend. A lot of folks do that. You're not going to get that from Jay Johnson. He's just not going to operate that way. And at this point, who's to argue? Like, do we have a lot of folks genuinely arguing? Do we have people still outwardly complaining about Friday and Monday and Tuesday games in the middle of the day? Do we have people ardently complaining about the non-conference schedule? Not really. You win 2 championships in 3 years around here. You can kind of run the program the way you want to run the program. And look, I run a radio show 1 to 3 every day. And for me to do a radio show 1 to 3 and for them to throw first pitch of the season at 2 is not a lot of fun. Not my favorite. But it is what it is. And Jay Johnson kind of figures he's going to do things the way he wants to do it, and that's the way he wants to do it. So we'll see, and we'll see what Jay Johnson does coming up tomorrow at 11 o'clock if he announces a starting pitcher, one for Friday and then for Saturday as well. You called Koki, didn't get an answer? All right, he's responding to me, so I'll have him call us here. Let me type this in. And we'll have Koki call us because I do want to talk some Spencer Rattler trade deadline, but I don't want to do that in the middle of this segment and then have Koki come on. And I want to talk maybe a little bit in 25 minutes, maybe a little bit in 25 minutes about what we saw in the PMAC last night. Maybe not a lot. May not be the case. But I just, we'll see. Depends on if anything breaks at this point. But Koki, I think, is calling the studio right now, so we'll get him. Koki's been on the baseball beat for a couple of years. If you're looking for preview content, got it at 104.5 ESPN's YouTube stream. Me and Musso chopping up the entire season. Koki, I think, now with us on the Jim's Firearms Hotline. How are you, sir?
Doing good. How's it going?
Going quite well. We're just talking about Jay's reluctance to reveal information about his lineup and pitching. What do you think you'll learn tomorrow when he meets with the media? Do you think you'll get an opening day starting pitcher?
Yeah, I think we'll probably get a rotation. Usually we get a rotation before the first weekend of the season. So that's just kind of my baseline expectation heading into the year. I don't think we're going to get a lineup, and honestly, the opening day lineup really doesn't tell you a whole lot about what the rest of the season is going to look like from an order perspective. Pitching staff is a little bit more so because you got to ramp guys up and ramp guys down, and there's probably going to be some sort of change in the rotation by the end of the year. Well, actually, there's almost certainly going to be some sort of change with the rotation by the end of the year, but usually at least one of those guys will stay throughout the whole year. Last year it was 2. So I think that at least if we get an idea as to who those 3 guys are going to be, that gives us a decent starting point from the pitching side.
Yeah,
So.
I think so. Look, I mean, a couple years ago, Thatcher Hurd threw the first pitch and Gage jumped out of the bullpen at the end, and those things were very much flipped by the end of the season. Who do you think will get the baseball to start on Friday afternoon?
It'll probably still be Casey Evans. I know he hasn't looked the best during this preseason, but he's got the track record. He's got the stuff. He's Casey Evans. Like, I don't know. He just is the best candidate for this from a talent perspective, from even a track record perspective to some degree. And, like, I guess I understand that there's at least some concern over whether he can make the jump to being a starter, but had a lot of multi-inning relief appearances and has kind of shown that he can get through an order multiple times already and at, an SEC College World Series sort of level. So I'm not too concerned that he can make the leap, even if historically it has been difficult at times to do that, as you've pointed out many times.
Do you have a thought on who Saturday and Sunday might be?
I think it's going to be Cooper Williams and Cooper Moore in some sort of order. I think even though Cooper Moore's probably been their best pitcher, topped up from since the fall, that's a lot to ask for a transfer who was very solid at Kansas, but wasn't like Paul Skeens good at Kansas either. So to ask him to start opening day seems like a lot. But as a Saturday or Sunday guy, he's kind of perfect to slide in there, and I think that's exactly why they brought him in. His command's excellent. He's got a great changeup. He's got a pretty good sweeper to have more of that, horizontal movement on his pitches. So, the fastball isn't big, but if he can hit his spots and sort of keep teams off balance, then he's going to be pretty solid for them. And then I think Cooper Williams just really improved since most of what we saw him last year. I think at the very end of last season, we saw some of this in terms of his command and his ability to throw 4 pitches for strikes and keep hitters off balance. But I think it's kind of gone to another level in that he's doing it against LSU hitters and he's getting tons of strikeouts and he just looks so comfortable and poised out there. And there were times where there were definitely some deer in the headlights looks from him coming out of the bullpen, and the ERA suggested that he had an amazing season. And he definitely had a good year for a freshman, but I wouldn't say he was really anywhere close to dominant or great till the very end. So I think what we saw in that Little Rock performance in the regional, we're just seeing that more and more now as we head into the season. And he's also a lefty, and he's really the only lefty candidate to start. And we know Jay likes starting lefties, so that's kind of why I have those two guys, the Coopers, I should say, in the rotation to start the year.
That means no William Schmidt. Now, look, there's a game Monday, and I would argue that Monday's game is the same as Friday's game, as this game is Sunday's game, is the same as Saturday's game. Do you feel like William Schmidt may wait till Monday to start, or do you think we may see him, if your rotation plays out of the bullpen somewhere?
I mean, I wouldn't be. He's a pretty good candidate to start on Monday, especially if Zach Cowan's like you're going to be in your quasi top reliever, top high leverage role, the same role that he was in last season. If you're going to do it that way, then Schmidt or Jaden Newt makes the most sense for Monday. Schmidt had that great performance in the last week of the preseason scrimmages. Kind of had a rocky start in the first inning, and then after that, he really cruised. And to me, for Schmidt, it's really all about the command. If he can command the baseball and really work on getting teams off of his fastball, then he'll be fine. But that's still a lot to ask, given all the expectations that are already underneath him, and the fact that he's really a breaking ball first pitcher, and if he can really lean to those strengths more and command the ball better, then I think that those are just sort of the keys for him heading into this season. And Newt's just kind of a rock for them. He's looked a little bit more consistent this year. It's again with him, it's kind of similar. It's the command, and he was a little bit better. He was just better at that last season, and had that split change he could really lean on in tight moments. And I think you're probably going to see if he's now that he's an extra year removed from the Tommy John surgery, I feel a little bit more optimistic about him just in terms of like reaching that kind of reaching what he can be for this team, which is like a very, very under the radar starter type for them.
Let's move to the offense-defense side of things. What's your biggest concern about this team from a position player standpoint?
For me, it's some of the defense up the middle, and the power, right? I mean, the power has to be talked about as like, this kind of thing that's kind of looming over this team a little bit. They have a lot of doubles hitters, as we've said, seemingly a lot now. But but like they kind of need Trent Carraway to hit, 15, 20 homers. They kind of need Jake Brown to hit 15, 20 homers. They need Derek Curiel to take another step forward in the power department. Braden Simpson hit 22 last season, but that's going to be very difficult at a much higher level. You're looking at a guy like Zach York, who's going to be playing in smaller parks, but he's going to be facing tougher pitching. So how much power are you going to get out of him? I think the power is definitely something to keep an eye out for heading into this upcoming year. I mean, they've got a lot to replace, especially with the right-handed power between Ethan Fry and Jared Jones, and that's why I'm looking at a guy like Carraway, and I just think he's so important as one of the few guys in this team who can give you some legitimate pop from the right-handed side, and Simpson as well. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. And then the other thing is just some of the defense up the middle. Like, what's Aaron Beatty going to look like in SEC competition defensively when he's catching, at least 2 out of every 3 games, or in some cases all 3. So like that's just going to be a big leap for him, and he's looked better in the preseason, and that's been a promising sign. Not saying that he can't do it, but it's still a question mark for me. And that the defense and second base, like they don't really have a glove first second baseman on this team. So like who's going to emerge there, and how can they sort of piece that together? So like, yeah, some of the defense up the middle in particular, or even third base, you could argue as well. But that power is probably the most glaring thing.
You spent a lot of time around Jay Johnson. You've interviewed him a couple times preseason here. Do you think he's approaching 2026 any differently than 2024?
Well, I'm just sort of writing about that for a story in The Advocate. It's going to come out on Friday, so I don't want to spoil the story too much in this answer.
Make it a yes or no then.
But to a degree, yeah. I mean,
okay.
He definitely did more research into dynasty teams and what it takes and the characteristics between the teams that did win multiple championships after the first one and the teams that didn't. And that's kind of the territory this team finds themselves in heading into this year, where they're on track to potentially win 3 and 4 years. And even if they don't do that, they don't do it this year. If they do it next year, then you could probably call it a dynasty too, 3 and 5 years. So I think, like Jay Johnson loves to do his research and learn from championship winning coaches. He idolizes Nick Saban. He sort of understands, the difference between winning it once and winning it multiple times. And that's that's exactly the new step that they're taking this season, because they've already won 2 and 3 years. But winning, it's different. It's different. There's a big difference between winning 1 or even 2 championships and winning 3 or 4 or 5. And that's kind of the mountain that they have to climb now. And very, very, very few teams, as you know, have been able to do that. So it's going to be very, very difficult. But I'm kind of writing about that right now as we speak.
I love to hear it. It's a great topic of conversation. How about this dynasty? I like these types of stories and conversations far better than the ones we've talked about on the hardwood for the last couple of weeks. So looking forward to it. Koki, what are you planning to do during Saturday's rain delay? Are you excited about that?
Well, I haven't looked at the radar, so you're actually kind of breaking news to me right now, as I've been kind of in the bunker and the headspace of writing a lot and not looking at weather reports, but now you've really just soured my mood for Friday. So
look, I'm just preparing you for
Saturday,
56 games. That's at least 20 rain delays right there. So Saturday looks a little bit dicey, I'll tell you that. But they got time. They'll figure it out, and we'll get off and running on Friday afternoon. Koki, we'll see you at the box this weekend. Thanks, man.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Look forward to reading his stuff. Koki Riley will be here on Wednesdays. He'll have a great story up on opening day on Friday, and he'll certainly have your coverage all season long on the baseball beat over at LSU. Our Wednesday show is brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. We'll come back with more. It's the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Fabry Chevrolet GMC. It's online at fabrychevrolet.com. I've been telling you all month because it's important that I tell you this month because I can't tell you next month. I can only tell you this month because it's a great month. Go get a truck. If you're looking for a new truck, maybe your lease is up. Maybe this one's just not riding like you want to, or maybe it's just a new opportunity to get behind the wheel of a truck you never had before. Fabry Chevrolet GMC has got you covered. On the Chevy side, the Silverado, up to $11,000 MSRP and 1.9 APR financing, both available. You're looking at GMC Sierras, gorgeous truck, up to $13,000 off MSRP, 0.0% APR financing. These are incredible deals. If you're looking for a new truck, Fabry Chevrolet GMC, Highway 61 in St. Francisville is where you need to be. You know the Fabry family. They've been in business 35 years. They're incredible customer service, great buying experience, and service after the sale is fantastic. So go see them, Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Check out the inventory online at fabrychevrolet.com. It's fabrychevrolet.com.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Lifetime Roofing, lifetimeroofingla.com, lifetimeroofingla.com. It's a Baton Rouge-based roofing company that can service you anywhere in the state of Louisiana, also over into Houston. Trust a local company with your roofing. Just a word of advice. They're here in the community. They know what's important, and they're going to do a quality job. I can tell you that Lifetime Roofing is going to do a quality job because they stand by it with a lifetime workmanship warranty. That warranty includes workmanship and materials that are backed by CertainTeed, one of the most trusted and oldest names in building materials. They're here before the storms. They're here after the storms. This is home for Lifetime Roofing. So trust them to do your inspection. If they find that you just need a repair, not a whole new roof, they're going to do the repair, not the whole new roof. If they find that you need a new roof, they're going to do an awesome job and allow financing up to 18 months, 0% on that new roof. If you just need it fortified, strengthened a little bit to protect your home, protect your family, that's what they'll do. They're not here to upsell you and do something you don't need to make a quick buck. It's Lifetime Roofing. Find them online, lifetimeroofingla.com, lifetimeroofingla.com. Let's shift over to the Saints here. And let's talk about Spencer Rattler. I gave a lot of thought to this, not in terms of like necessarily all preparation, and I am prepared. I'm looking at kind of the situation, but I gave a lot of thought to it based on risk reward, maybe is the way to say it. Should the Saints look into moving Spencer Rattler is the question. Got a couple years left on a cheap deal. There are going to be teams that are looking for quarterbacks. Is he someone worth shopping to other teams? And is there a market for him? I can't speak to the market for Spencer Rattler. I can't. I do know that he played okay this year. Was it safe? Yes. Was it guarded? Yes. Was it in fairly adverse circumstances with a first-year head coach, limited weapons? I mean, at that point, you had Olave and Shaheed, but it wasn't as if the Saints were in a great spot offensively with really young tackles, a struggling right guard, struggling left guard. But Rattler was okay. Is there a market? And should the Saints explore that and look to move on? And this is what I've arrived at for New Orleans in this spot. I think all things considered, you have to listen to offers for Spencer Rattler. Here's why I say that. Here are the free agent quarterbacks that are expected to be here on the market this offseason. Daniel Jones, Russell Wilson, Joe Flacco, Carson Wentz, Zach Wilson, all these guys to varying degrees are veterans that have either way outlived their prime or have kind of been retreads. And then you've got other names of a younger variety like Marcus Mariota, Gardner Minshew, Mitch Trubisky, Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, that type of deal. But it's not a deep market, and it's not one that's got a lot of potential options. But I think that's a good thing for the Saints. Because if you think that Rattler, at his age, with his skill set, on his salary, is a better option for your franchise, whoever you are, whether you're the Vikings or the Cardinals or Miami, Indianapolis, Las Vegas. I realize they have the first pick, but what if you're trying to bring a bridge quarterback in, whatever. Like if you think that Rattler's a better option, you may be willing to part with a draft pick. And if I'm the Saints, I think that a draft pick and Gardner Minshew, or a draft pick and Mitch Trubisky, or a draft pick and Zach Wilson, or whoever, is better than just Spencer Rattler. Probably more expensive on the salary side, but also comes with an asset. And I'm generally of the belief that if you have to rely on your backup quarterback for a substantial amount of time, that you're probably cooked anyway. There aren't a lot of Nick Foles stories. There are no other Tom Brady stories. There aren't a lot of Cardale Jones stories at the college level. Your backup quarterback comes in for a substantial amount of time, you're probably cooked anyway. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time prioritizing who my backup quarterback is. Yes, if my quarterback goes down, I would like my backup to be able to hold the rope. But I'm not even so sure that Mitch Trubisky can't hold the rope like Spencer Rattler can. Saints lost a lot of games with Spencer Rattler last year. And if it comes with an asset on the other side of it, no matter if it's a 6th-round pick, I'm open to that. I believe the door is closed on Spencer Rattler as the Saints franchise quarterback. That may sound obvious, but it needs to be said. He's on the roster. He's cheap. You've brought him in. I think that ship has sailed. The future of the Saints, if it reaches I struggle to say elite, the good teams in the NFL, it's going to be with Shuck. And if Shuck gets hurt, then you're probably going to take a big step back, and I'm okay with that risk of taking a big step back if he gets hurt to get the reward of potentially a draft pick with a veteran backup quarterback if someone wants to pay up for Spencer Rattler. And if the market is deemed to be so weak that you get 2 teams interested and you might bump that pick up around and maybe you get a 5th-round pick, I think it's worth it. Is this a conversation that is franchise-altering? It is not. It's not. Is it one that has a chance to produce a net positive and make the Saints organization better? I believe it does. I don't believe the Saints get a lot better with Spencer Rattler being the backup quarterback. They could get better if somehow you find a 5th, 6th, 7th-round pick that can really help. So when you've got an asset, which is a quarterback, and the league so strongly covets that asset that at times they're willing to overpay, I'm willing to listen to potential overpayers. I'm willing to listen. I like Spencer Rattler. I think he's done some nice things. I think if the Saints have him as a backup, and let's talk about the other side of this equation, hypothetically. Shuck gets the Saints off to a 5-2 start. He has a 3-week injury. Won't even be specific, but he's going to miss 3 weeks. And Spencer Rattler might be able to go 2-1, might be able to go 1-2, which is good enough to hold the rope. That upside is not worth me not exploring a potential draft pick, to me. I think it's possible, and I think that Spencer Rattler could help a team. I don't think he can help the franchise long term. So if you're talking about the hypothetical of maybe he's got to play 3 weeks, maybe he's got to play 1 week, maybe he's got to play 2 quarters, maybe he's got to play a month, these all hypotheticals, I don't really want to play in that. I'd rather play in in actuality, I can sign one of these veterans. He can sit behind Shuck. If he needs to play, he's been out there before. I might pay him a little bit more, but on the back end, I also get a draft pick that I got for trading Rattler. I'm in for that. I think that's the better side of this equation to look at. So if there are teams earnestly inquiring about Spencer Rattler, pre-draft, post-draft, whenever, and you can get a late round draft choice. I'm not delusional enough to think you can get a third round pick for it. But if you can get 5th, 6th, 7th round pick, I realize the hit rates on those are very low, but I'm willing to part with a backup quarterback asset for a potential to have something better. I'm not in a hurry to trade my backup, my number 2 wide receiver, my number 2 running back, my number 2 safety. I don't want to trade my second edge rusher. I'm not in a hurry to part with Demario Davis as heir apparent. The quarterback, I'm willing to part with, because if Shuck goes down and you got to have your backup come in, I've already kind of decided it's probably not going to go great. And you can tell me about the full stories till the cows come home, and you can talk to me about Tom Brady forever, and all that's well and good. I'm not. That's the exception to the general rule. The rule is you need your starting quarterback to go out there and be great to win divisions, win playoff games. I'm going to live by those rules. And I think that if you can get something for Tyler Shuck, for Spencer Rattler, I'm all in for that. Jordan, you hear my rambling on that. Is there a market for Spencer Rattler?
Oh, without a doubt. And I also believe that Rattler himself would want to, go get a fresh start, go get an opportunity to play because, the writing's on the wall. He's not stupid. He understands that. He's been in his position before, honestly. Yeah. Shuck's the guy that came in, took your job. So there's no transfer portal. Can't just go hop in the portal now. But I think, he can, agents talk, work out a way to get out of New Orleans. And there's nothing to say that, Rattler, get him out of here or nothing. But, again, if you can get something for somebody that wants an opportunity to go play somewhere and teams are going to call about him, other than what you want to get Derek Carr off the couch, now he probably will get picked up still. We can get something for him too. But why not maximize on the asset that you're looking at that's probably not going to play at all? Well, doomsday scenario is that he is playing, so, you can get something else.
He's not likely to impact high-level games.
At all.
He might help you on October 3rd when Shuck has to miss the second half with a concussion, but he's not likely to impact playoff games. At least if I get an asset like a 6th-round pick, I got a shot to get somebody that might. Your shot is low, but you're playing in the margins in the NFL.
Yeah.
Everybody is crammed into this competitive thing, and you're just trying to find something that might give you a competitive edge. This does that, so I'm open to it. I hope they're able to work something out. All right, that's your Saints talk for this Wednesday. Take a time out. 30 minutes left to go. Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Check out Marucci. It's baseball season. It is softball season. Go see him over there at Marucci. It's where they make the official bat of Major League Baseball. I saw a great video today from Mesa, Arizona, of Alex Bregman hitting a home run. Makes me think about the crack of the bat, Major League Baseball, which I love. Official bat of Major League Baseball is made right here in Baton Rouge. Right here. You can take a tour and see where they make $1,200 a day, and they send them off to the best players in the world. World Baseball Classics coming up, you'll see Marucci bats. Major League Baseball season coming up, you'll see Marucci bats. And you can go see this cool spot in Baton Rouge and take a tour. Take your youth baseball team. Take your youth softball team. Take your family. Go by yourself. Go get a ticket at maruccisports.com/campus-tour. Every ticket comes with a 20% discount for that campus tour store and in the hitter's house. 20%. That's no joke. Check it out. It is Marucci.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
If you're cruising down Airline Highway today in Baton Rouge and you see that massive amount of orange equipment off to the side, that's Gotro's Outdoor Power. They've got an incredible amount of inventory over at Gotro's Outdoor Power, both Baton Rouge and Gonzales locations. If you're looking for a zero-turn mower, look no further than my friends at Gotro's Outdoor Power. They've been in business locally for better than 2 decades, locally owned and operated, and that's the difference. Like, you can get a zero-turn from the big box store. I'm not denying that. But what if you don't have a trailer? Are they going to bring it to you? What if you're looking for parts and service? Do you have a direct line to incredible customer service with a locally owned company? I'm asking you, do you? The answer is probably no. That's what separates the folks over at Gotro's Outdoor Power. They've got financing options. They can get you behind the wheel of a fantastic mower for $100 a month. That's less than you would pay for somebody to come cut your grass. So if you're looking for a hustler, go see them over there at Gotro's Outdoor Power. 2 locations, Airline Highway in Baton Rouge, of course, the Gonzales location as well. They've got a fantastic inventory, and the customer service is going to set them apart. Of course, they got an incredible parts warehouse as well. So if you're looking to get a tune-up here before that grass starts really growing, folks over at Gotros Outdoor Power can help you. Check them out online at GotrosOutdoorPower.com. All right. Candidly, I saved this block open in case something broke, in case LSU baseball tweeted out a weekend rotation, in case LSU football there was a commitment that broke, in case the NCAA made some sort of ruling on Trinidad Chambliss. Like there's any number of things that could happen breaking news wise. If that were to happen, I was going to talk about it here. It's 90 minutes into the show. That's 90 minutes for something to break. And it did. So what happens then? Well, it's not an empty block of the show. I can't just stop talking, though I might like to, because we'll talk basketball briefly. Last night was terrible. Awful. It was a 29-point win for Arkansas, only because LSU went on a 7-0 burst at the end of the game to cut it from 36 to 29. It was a 36-point deficit. LSU, once again, followed up a game in which they missed 16 straight threes back on Saturday with a 3 for 21 three-point shooting performance. You're just not going to beat anybody. When you're a bad defense and you can't shoot, you have no chance. And I go back to the bad defense, and I realize that we are taking a Marucci bat to a carcass here. Like, I get that. They're 2-9 in the league. It is what it is. And I'm not trying to paint any other set of rosy circumstances. It does puzzle me a little bit. And look, I'm not a basketball savant here. Nobody's calling me up to scheme it up for LSU or the Clippers anytime soon. But I'm watching LSU game after game after game get torched by opposing offenses. 50-point halves regularly. They gave up 91 points to Arkansas without two of their better scorers last night. And I just wonder why there's not a significant adjustment made. Now, there are adjustments made. They change their ball coverages, ball screen coverage at the top of the key. Sometimes they hard hedge. They switch some stuff 1 through 4. Like, they do some things a little bit differently, but you never see LSU get into a full court trapping situation. You never see LSU drop back into a 1-3-1 or pack it in a little bit. You just see LSU go out there, play man, change some ball screen coverages up front, and here we go. And they just get dusted. And that's frustrating to me. It's not as frustrating as it was 3 weeks ago because you know where we're sitting here. But it is frustrating. There are some critiques of Matt McMahon that I don't buy. I don't buy that he's too passive. I don't buy that he doesn't show enough emotion. I don't buy that he doesn't care. And I do buy that he was grossly undermanned his first and third years. So if you want to call those excuses or me not being hard enough or me being a homer, like that's your prerogative, that's fine. I'm just telling you, I don't think he had a chance his first year. I don't think he had a chance his third year based on the strength of the conference and the investment that LSU and the booster base put into it. And I don't think that he doesn't care. And I also think he's a decent basketball coach. And the other thing that I will push back on is that Ja Morant got in the job. Ja Morant left. He went 31-4 and won a tournament game. Like, you think Ja spurred the momentum for the next team that went 31-4 and won a tournament game? Like, he did plenty at Murray State without Ja Morant, and he found and recruited Ja Morant. So that part I don't play either. But this is pitiful to watch. Both things can be true. There can be some reasons for shortcomings years 1 through 3. There can be some reasons why he's considered a pretty good basketball coach. And you can look at year 4 when the investment was significant and when he had an opportunity to go recruit. And you can look at the 2-9 and you can look at more. And the Deion Thomas and Reed injuries are real things, but they're not necessarily indicative of a team that can't defend. You didn't lose. Like, if you had a defense that was predicated on guys funneling drivers into Tyrus Thomas and him just erasing everything, and then Tyrus got hurt and you were bad on defense, then I would go, okay, well, they had a plan. It was a flawed plan. They lost the key to the plan. Now they stink. This team stunk on defense the whole time. He put together a team of skilled offensive players that don't shoot it well from three and can't play defense. So when they're playing well offensively, and Thomas was cooking on the pick and roll, and he was lobbing it to Nwoku, and McKinnon was scoring off the bounce, and Sutton found his way a little bit when Thomas got hurt, and they've got some guys that can play a little bit on offense, and they've scored some points on some decent teams. But they've never defended. And they've never done anything significantly different to improve the defense. And last night, Arkansas was running a track meet. They shot 56% for the game. 56% for the game. On the road. Well, do they light it up from three like some of those other teams that LSU's played? No, they didn't. They shot 3 of 12 from three. 3 of 12. They just got wherever they wanted. Darius Acuff got wherever he wanted. Did LSU ever send two aggressive guys after him and just get the ball out of his hands? Not really. Couple of hedges on ball screens. And Acuff's a great player. I'm not telling you need to hold Acuff to 9 points on 3 of 13 shooting. But he went for 31 on you in Fayetteville, and then he came back 2 weeks later and got 28 with 5 assists. He's going to go in the lottery, but I just like to do a little bit better job than that. Look, none of this is really about improving this year or what to do next year. I'll be honest with you, the listener. I'm not here. I'll be honest with you. This is just me being frustrated. It's me being frustrated. Because unlike a lot of people, right now, I do care about LSU basketball. Right now, it's very easy to go, baseball starts on Friday. Did you see that football portal class? Women's basketball's got a monster game on Saturday. How about that? Have you seen the gym team? They're pretty good. It's easy to just take men's basketball and chuck it aside. I don't do that as easily. And this team's not going to get any better, and this team's going to go 3-15 in the league, and this team's toast. And that frustrates me a little bit. And I just told you at the top of the segment, if LSU had gotten a 3-star cornerback commitment today, I'd have talked about that instead of the basketball team playing a conference game. I was prepared to do that, but nothing happened, breaking news, so you get me venting and complaining about it. That's just the way it goes. We'll leave it in this contained segment, 12 minutes, but it bums me out to watch an LSU team that non-competitive again on their home floor. And you've seen now South Carolina come in here and win, and Kentucky come in here and break your heart, and Arkansas come in here and win. Mississippi State came in here and won. And nobody's at the games. It's just completely checked out. Completely checked out. There will be more people at the box watching batting practice an hour pregame on Friday afternoon during a work day than there were at an 8 o'clock basketball game last night. There's an element of sadness to that. And that's coming from somebody who loves that baseball program just deeply. I'd like more for the basketball team than to go out there and get annihilated by 29 points and it only looking that good because you went on a 7-0 run to end the game when you're down 36. Come back and close it out.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
This will cheer me up. Talking about trucks, affordable trucks at that. At Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Looking to get behind the wheel of a brand new truck? How about a Chevy Silverado? At Fabry Chevrolet GMC, you can get up to $11,000 off MSRP and look, 1.9% APR financing on those trucks. How about the Sierras? Even better, quite frankly. Up to $13,000 off MSRP, 0% APR financing. If that sounds like something you want to be introduced to, go see my friends at Fabry Chevrolet GMC on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. They've been under new ownership since October the 1st. You maybe didn't have the best experience in a car buying situation at some point previously. Go to Fabry Chevrolet GMC. I promise you will, because the Fabry family's been doing that for 35 years. Go get one of those Silverados. Go get a GMC Sierra. If you're looking for an SUV, they got those too. Tahoes, Yukons, Denali's. They're all there. You can check out the inventory online at FabryChevrolet.com. They're on Highway 61 in St. Francisville and online at FabryChevrolet.com.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools.
Interesting news out of Austin, Texas. Ruger Riojas, last year's Friday night starter, due to injury. He was kind of their closer midweek guy, came their Friday night guy. He's back in the Friday night spot. They'll go with Luke Harrison on Saturdays, who was their Saturday guy last year. And then Dylan Volantis, who was their superstar freshman closer last year, who we thought was going to do the Case and Evans move from the closer spot to the Friday night role. He'll start on Sunday. We'll see if Jay Johnson's thinking along those lines with Case and Evans this weekend. Again, I mentioned we'll hear from Jay Johnson tomorrow at 11 o'clock. And we'll talk about that tomorrow and see if he reveals a weekend rotation or anything that he's planning on doing this weekend. We'll certainly react to it on the show tomorrow. Our Wednesday show is brought to you by Renaissance Homes and Pools. Looking to build that home of your dream? You can do it with my friends at Renaissance Homes and Pools. Joey Blanchard, been doing it for decades, a couple of them here in the Baton Rouge area. He's happy to build you that pool of your dream, and he's with you every step of the way. When you go to the consultation, he's there. Do the design, he's there. When that pool is dug, he's there. When they fill it, finish it, he's there. You know you're working with a local company, takes pride in their work, and that's right here in the city of Baton Rouge. So if you're looking for that pool and you're trying to get into it for the summer, right now is the time to make the call or go to the website, builtbyrenaissance.com. Looking for an outdoor kitchen, they got you. And if you want to build your forever home, Renaissance Homes and Pools can do that for you as well. I know a lot of folks like to get a lot of bids, like to look at different pricing for that build. Make Renaissance Homes and Pools one of those calls that you reach out to. Check them out online, builtbyrenaissance.com. All right, finish it up and take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
Okay, so we're going to start this one off with a little baseball. So Baltimore Orioles second baseman Jackson Holliday and Arizona Diamondbacks star outfielder Corbin Carroll both broke the hamate bone in their right hands during batting practice and will undergo surgery Wednesday and Thursday. Carroll will be out of the World Baseball Classic, and both of them pretty much questionable for opening day. So this is mean baseball season is back. Breaking your hand in BP, take it or leave it.
It's the Warren Morris injury. Could mean great things for those teams. He had that broken hand, came back on the hamate, and hit that home run to win for LSU. Look, it's a bummer for those teams, bummer for the World Baseball Classic, but those guys will be back to full strength well before the All-Star break. They say that you can come back and play on it pretty quickly.
Okay.
The power takes some time to come back, apparently, according to those who have had it. So we'll see. Those are really good players, obviously. High-profile injuries. Francisco Lindor actually had the same injury, and he'll miss the World Baseball Classic and may not be there for opening day. But the hamate bone it's just a break in the bone. It'll heal itself, and they'll be back. They'll be full strength by the middle of May.
Okay, so this one is very weird. So there's been a long saga going on between Jonathan Kuminga and head coach Steve Kerr, the Golden State Warriors. And the two have been at odds for some years now. So the Warriors traded Kuminga to the Hawks. But this was like the straw that broke the camel back. So according to Anthony Slater, the day before the two met on December 10th, there was like a heated discussion because Kuminga missed a team requested event, but his family went. And apparently they ate too much food in the family room. And that got the two to get into a heated discussion in the coach's locker room. So, family eating too much at the team party. Take it or leave it.
I'm leaving it. Let them have the food. It's there for the team party. Just let them eat some food. Everybody's rich. The organization's rich. Yeah. There's some nice hors d'oeuvres out there. You got some pulled pork sliders, maybe
something real
like
good.
that. Look at a shrimp taco. It's delicious. Let them have it. It's fine.
Literally, just for them to throw it out at the end of the night anyway. But, I guess that was the straw that broke the camel's back.
What are you looking for at a wedding? I'm looking for some boudin balls to be passed around if I'm there at a wedding.
Wedding-wise, depends. So I used to be a DJ and did weddings. So it depends on a certain wedding. Like, I need higher class weddings. Like, I need like some like a meat little, like they cutting the meat right there.
Carving station.
Yeah, I need some of that. I need like drip some cheese. I just need something crazy, like something I can't get at a regular wedding. So to end this off, Victor Wembanyama scored a season-high 40 points in 26 minutes versus the Lakers. He scored 25 points in 8 minutes in the first quarter. So if this guy, he's about to be one of the greatest of all time. Take it or leave it.
I'll take it. Why not? Let's have some fun here on a Wednesday. I would suggest he's a unique player. Kevin Durant's close. Giannis is close.
Yeah.
He's bigger than them. I don't know that he shoots it quite like Durant.
Yeah, not like KD.
So I think it's fair to say that we've never seen anything quite like him, which would make him a unique player. I think it's going to be a great career to watch. You're watching LeBron and Durant kind of ride out here. Yeah. Steph's kind of on the way out as well. You still got some of the young guns like Luka and Shea and those guys that are great. But Victor is something. So I think he could be an all-time great.
And to end us off, I've seen the Pelicans score less than 25 points in 12 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
So the fact he got 25 in 8 minutes, that says enough right
That
there.
happens twice a week in the Pels.
Oh, yeah. I mean, come on, man. Oh, we on a 2-game win streak. Let me stop. We on a
How about
2-game win
that?
streak. Yeah,
Positivity.
Yeah, we on a 2-game win streak.
Speaking of positivity, tomorrow, last show of the offseason for LSU baseball. I'm excited to dive into some baseball, and we'll certainly continue that into Friday as they kick things off. Matt's going to drive you home next on After Further Review. We'll see you tomorrow for a Thursday edition of The Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. Look, if you got a home that was built around 1990, 95, even 2000, you could start to see some significant issues crop up, especially in the bathroom where plumbing is involved and water's constantly being used, and that can cause malfunctions and issues. Don't just call the handyman down the street and hand him some cash. Say, hey, can you get this fixed up? Call David Duvall and One Bath and Closets. They've been doing it for 30 years. They've got a master plumber on retainer, and they can come in and make sure things are working properly. And if you need to put in a new shower, they got you. If you need to put in a new tub, they got you. They need a new bathroom in totality, they've got you. They can do it all at One Bath and Closets. Get that free consultation online at onebathandclosets.com. Ask about financing. They got 0% for 18 months, same as cash. It's David Duvall and One Bath and Closets. You can find them online at onebathandclosets.com.